For now, though, and we'll come, your right towards me. So, Kim, you're a former chief. You've done a tremendous amount of work with your community on these issues. You've also been involved in federal processes around energy decision making. What's your perspective? What have we done well? What do we still need to accomplish?
Thanks, Monica, and to everyone for inviting me to participate this evening, all the way from the West Coast, where there are some heated discussions underway about energy projects. I'd like to acknowledge that I'm here on unceded Algonquin territory and thank the Algonquin people for letting me access their beautiful territory. My name is Kim Baird. My ancestral name is Quintiltonot, which comes from my great-great-grandfather at Tsawwassen First Nation. We're a Coast Salish people living at the mouth of the Fraser River, south of Vancouver. For my business, I currently consult with Indigenous groups, primarily First Nations, industry and government on Indigenous matters. I'm an associate with Hill & Knowlton and have my own consultancy practice and sit on various boards, including the newly formed Infrastructure Bank of Canada and the Public Policy Forum and Greater Vancouver Board of Trade. I have experience as a former chief of my community where I led the negotiation and implementation of a modern land claim agreement and self-governance for my community. I spent 6 years on the BC Hydro Board, so I've done a fair bit of work in the liquid natural gas industry as well. And I have a unique experience when it comes to my view of major energy projects, whether it's because I've opposed some of them on behalf of my community or I've helped advance them, as in the case of BC Hydro. And although British Columbia is unique in relation to issues of Aboriginal rights and title, I believe other regions of the country will see increased legal uncertainty about major energy projects unless Aboriginal rights and other Indigenous rights are resolved. And by resolving them, I think involvement in design, implementation, and benefits of major projects will be a part of those solutions. And while many changes are underway, as the program says, in relation to the regulatory processes in this country, some of the controversial projects that are advancing, such as the TMX, haven't benefited from these new projects, yet they're still on the books, so to speak. I chaired the Ministers' Panel on TMX after the National Energy Board decision, so I had a first-hand look at many of the issues and concerns members of the public and First Nations raised about the project, but also about broader concerns pertaining to public policy and processes. A lot has happened since then, so in my opinion, things are heading in a better trajectory from an Indigenous lens. I can't speak on behalf of all Indigenous people, but there's still a far way to go. And so those are my opening thoughts, and I look forward to the discussion tonight.
Terrific. Thanks very much, Kim. That's really thought-provoking.